Hi, I'm Lauren Fix. Welcome to Car Coach Reports. This is 4-Minute Friday, week ending August 24th, 2018. This is what's going on in your automotive world. Let's put 4 minutes on the clock. First, we'll talk about ride-hailing apps. We've all used Uber or Lyft or some of the other apps that are out there. Well, a new AAA study says that it's costing you twice as much to use ride-hailing apps as it would to use your own vehicle. So AAA recently did a study with Uber and Lyft. The study covered over 240,000 single ride shares of an average of about 6.6 miles per ride. And when they calculated the number based on the cost of ownership of an average vehicle, and most of us drive somewhere between 10 and 12,000 miles per year, they found that it cost you twice as much to use Uber and Lyft as it did to own your own vehicle. And it also reduces your freedom. Of course, you still have other expenses one way or the other. So I think it's really important that before you go ahead and rely 100% on these new ride-sharing applications and other things that are available to you, I think you better do the math. You might find that it's better to own your own vehicle and drive at your own convenience. Did you know that the diesel engine was invented by Dr. Rudolf Diesel over 120 years ago? And believe it or not, the developments have made diesel actually cleaner than gasoline engines. It's used to transport food and goods from coast to coast. It's actually a lot cheaper. There are longer distances between fill-ups and about 34 miles to the gallon on your average SUV. Some are higher, some are lower. Of course, it depends on your driving style. If you drive like me, my diesel SUV gets 34 miles to the gallon and I get 700 miles on the tank, which makes me a big fan. But let's take a look at the history of diesel. 120 years after its invention, diesel remains the prime mover for 15 sectors of the global economy. This means that things are moving from coast to coast is a lot cheaper and less emissions and better performance than other ways of transportation. For passenger cars, the future of diesel is increasingly focused on larger vehicles, ones that are particularly suited for advantages that diesel engines make, such as trucks for hauling and towing. This makes the most sense, you get the most torque. The future of diesel is taking a good thing and making it better. You'll find in some cases there are hybrid systems combined with diesel engines, and this will help vehicles that are idling use even less energy. There's a lot of future for diesel, so before you turn your nose up at it after all the negative news that you've heard, the diesel engine is now producing cleaner air, lower greenhouse gases, and better fuel economy. And this will help the future and make the environment cleaner. Auto Forecast Solutions says that if the Trump administration freezes the EPA regulations, that people will purchase less electric vehicles. That may be true, but that's your choice. But one thing you should note is there is a shortage of cobalt and neodymium. These are two rare earth minerals that are in the batteries for electric vehicles, and there is no replacement for them. Also, there's no way to recycle these two materials, and they're both hazardous wastes. So these are important things to think about before you think you're making the green choice. And Auto Forecast Solutions is saying if we freeze the fuel economy standards at 34.5 miles to the gallon, which I am a supporter of, I want you to know that this is actually not going to change the environment. This is not going to change the air outside. You will always have your choices, whether you want diesel, whether you'd like gas, or whether you'd like electric vehicles, or a combination thereof. Remember, it's your choice. You live in the USA, and the last thing we want to be do is tethered to cords like we are with these silly phones that we all live with and all of our devices. So think about your options, look at the real numbers, and do the math, and you may see what works best for you. Aston Martin is going to reproduce the DB5. This is the one that was used in James Bond's Goldfinger, and it comes with all the gadgets. Yes, there's going to be limited numbers, and yes, it's going to be very expensive, but who wouldn't want that in your garage? If you're a James Bond fan, this would be the coolest piece. Now remember, these vehicles will not be available to be driven on the street. However, the cost of these, are you ready? I hope you're sitting down. 2.75 million pounds, or about $3.5 million. That is a lot of money, but I promise you, once they're available to be ordered, they're all going to be sold, because those of us that love Aston Martins and love cars, and who doesn't like James Bond, that is cool. If you want one, or you think you want to be like Q and build a car like that, let me know your comments down below. I'm a huge Aston Martin fan. It would be a vehicle I would like to have in my garage someday. This is what's going on in your automotive world. If you like this video, make sure to like and share and subscribe. Hit that little bell right next to it, and we will let you know every time we post a 4-Minute Friday, a his turn, her turn, or a car coach reports. We have a lot of exciting things happening. We'd love you to join us. We love your comments. And if you want to support us, maybe get some better equipment, which I've heard a lot of you complaining about, you can support us on our Patreon page. We appreciate it. Sign up for the car coach reports at laurenfix.com and follow us on all forms of social media. Everything is down below. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.